Victorian councils are reportedly considering banning children's books, toys or characters that don't meet strict gender guidelines. The Herald Sun says that some councils are auditing learning materials at libraries, schools and kindergartens and urging a ban on the terms boy and girl. Under the new guidelines, children's favourites such as Thomas the Tank Engine and Winnie the Pooh could be banned for not meeting gender tests.
Are you fucking serious? Is this where we are now? As human beings? Have we become that politically correct that we are now banning toys and characters such as Barbie dolls and Thomas the Tank Engine? What's next? Banning the use of the words boys and girls to describe children who are male and female? Do we now live in a world where we can't legally differentiate people based on their physical, chemical and mental differences? Are the terms boy and girl no longer going to be used around our children? Well, it certainly seems that way if the Victorian councils get their way, and we could be heading towards this dystopian future. Except, that's not what the Victorian councils want at all. A show called Sunrise in Australia recently published some articles and little short videos discussing these issues and the ideas and the obscenity of them. In the videos, the news people lament how ridiculous it is for us to ban the words boy and girl to be used in a way to describe books, toys, shows and characters. And they're right. It's fucking ridiculous to ban Thomas the Tank Engine and Barbie dolls and even Winnie the Pooh. Little innocent Winnie the Pooh. What the fuck has Winnie ever done? Like, what gender stereotyping is in Winnie the Pooh? None. Fuck off. To ban these books and shows and toys is wrong, and we can't allow for this to happen. But the problem is here that people are too scared to talk up about this and share their own opinion because they're too scared of losing their jobs and being labelled as a massive cunt. Now, I'm not scared of this because I'm already labelled as a massive cunt, and a few of my managers at work already watch my videos, so hi. I miss you, Ben. To put a ban on the words boy and girl is just fucked up. Sunrise and the Herald Sun basically say how the Victorian councils want to ban the words boy and girl and replace toys, characters and TV shows with more gender stereotype suitable shows. And this is to reduce gender stereotyping and essentially allow children to choose whatever they want to be, and choose their own gender, which is utter bullshit. Now I'm going to say something which may offend some of you people watching. If you are offended by me having a laugh, then do me a favor and fuck off. You're not going to enjoy much of my content. There are fundamental differences between men and women, or should I say person born with a penis and person born with a cunt. And these differences should be celebrated and commended. Men and women are different from their physical down to their mental states. For example, men are naturally larger and more suitable for doing heavy loading, hard work, whereas women are more suitable to having a kid and then fucking raising the kid. It's just nature. It's been going on since the dawn of time, and I'd say it has a pretty high success rate. We see this throughout the entire animal kingdom, and it works. A male hunts and a female raises. And quite frankly, if men and women were inseparable in their differences, we'd be quite fucked. Men and women are different, and we can't blur these lines for children. And we can't call them something they're not. Can't say that's not a boy and that's not a girl. Because that is a boy and that is a girl. He does have a cock, she does have a cunt. We cannot ban people from calling boys boys and girls girls. It's just illogical. And the Victorian Council putting bans on certain characters and books because they don't meet gender stereotyping guidelines is complete and utter bullshit. And to be quite honest, it's impeding on our rights to freedom. And if the council were planning to go ahead with these plans, that'd make those bunch of cunts a massive bunch of cunts. But they're not that bad of cunts. The Victorian Council has no plans to ban Thomas the Tank Engine and Winnie the Pooh. They never did. They simply suggested that maybe, possibly, potentially, it is a possibility that things could be better if men and women, or boys and girls, weren't told that blue was a boy colour and that pink was a girl colour. That cars were for boys and dresses were for girls. Because they're not. A boy can play with dolls and do dress up, and a girl can play with cars. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's actually what this council is trying to push. They're trying to get rid of the gender stereotyping in which a boy has to wear blue and has to like cars, in which a girl has to wear pink and has to love dressing up. Which is a great idea. Growing up, I played with dolls because why the fuck not? Although I did feel pressured, even as a little fucking kid, to conform to this idea that dolls are for girls and Lego is for boys. And so I then grew up in this situation of thinking, yeah, that's for girls and that's for boys. Not my parents' fault, just society's fault, really. Because, you know, we live in a society. So to remove this stereotyping in 5-year-olds would be fucking great. Kids should be allowed to play with whatever they want and should be allowed to play with whoever they want. Unless they're a 40-year-old man in the back of the van, then they shouldn't be allowed to play with them. But they should be able to do these things without the idea that certain things are for boys and certain things are for girls. Victorian councils are not trying to ban the words boy and girl. They're trying to remove the idea that a boy can only do this and a girl can only do that. Which is fucking great. For once, I agree with the gender people. But, as usual, mainstream media jumped on the cunt and fucking ran with it and decided to brainwash everyone along the way into thinking that the Victorian councils wanted to ban the words boy and girl and to ban local libraries from stocking Winnie the Pooh and Thomas the Tank Engine. And the media went with that idea when that is not the case at all. Brilliant. I guess the main point of this video is boys and girls are very different, and that's great. But we should allow boys and girls to be boys and girls and to find whatever they enjoy doing without this idea that it's not for them. That these kids should be allowed to do whatever they want and not have to worry about, hey, this isn't what a boy should do, or hey, this ain't what a girl should do. But at the same time, fuck mainstream media and fuck the cunts that don't do any research so that they can push their own agenda down our throats. Books and toys should not be excluded, and in fact, they should be more inclusive. And that's the whole point. Let boys and girls figure out themselves if they really are boys and girls. And don't fucking push the shitty agenda on them.